I'm on my way to go see a fella today that he's got one of those tanked hot water heaters, but they're the combination type. Some people call them combi hot water heaters. I never knew when I was first starting out in this industry, what's combi mean? I kind of figured it was combination, but nobody ever explained it, because that's the problem with the language in different industries. The people in the industry, they understand all the terminology, but the homeowner, like you, they might quite often say, what the hell's he talking about? I wish he'd just speak English. Well, I wish people speak English most of the time, and then we'd all know what everyone's talking about, and I don't want to do that to you. So in this case, I had a talk with a fella, his name's Dan, and it is a rental property. It's a seasonal rental, and up here where I am, it's always seasonal, because there's 4 seasons and there's stuff to do in all 4 seasons. So it's a good play. It's a good spot to be. So this combination hot water heater, it will give you all of the hot water you need for showering and washing and doing your dishes, but it also hooks into what they call an air handler, and that's the big box that's got the blower in it and pushes all the air through the ductwork. But instead of having a fire built in it, like a natural gas furnace or an oil furnace or a propane furnace, it uses like a radiator. So the hot water from the hot water heater goes up into the radiator, and then the air pushes up through that, and that's what gives you your heat in your building or your house or your apartment or whatever it might be. So in this case, we've already had a service tech out there on the weekend, and they weren't able to keep this thing fired up. So Dan just told me, my fault. I didn't read the notes on this one, and I usually do, but I always talk to the homeowner anyway. He said that it's over 25 years old, it's original to the building, and he doesn't want to spend any money on trying to fix it. And that's a wise choice, because you never get ahead of that. No matter what you do, you'll put one part in, then you'll find out you got to put another part in, and as soon as you add up the dollars, you think, oh man, I'd have been further ahead to change this right away. So I'll let you know what happens after I go have a look at it. I'm not sure if he'll be there or not. I do have a door code regardless, but we'll see, and then we'll talk to him, and I'll let you know what I know. Stay tuned. 1918 should be right beside it. Yes, sir. Well, there's no one here, I guess. At the moment, we'll have a look at the boiler, get some light on. 17 degrees in here. Not too bad if things aren't working. Well, here we are. Black pipe too. So that's the thing we've got to consider. So I've got a condensate pump, and I've got a combination heater, circulating pump right up here, black ABS pipe going up to the top, temperature control valve for the domestic hot water, and that won't help. The venting comes through, goes up above there. Oh, lovely. Finished ceiling in the bathroom. Goes back to about here. I don't know what's out there. Must be maybe a jog. I'll have to go around outside and have a look at that. But anyway, that's what we're dealing with here. And that's the air handler. So that's what I was saying, that it's like a little radiator and the hot water goes up and goes inside to it. It's actually in this part right here. And then the air blows through it when the blower motor comes on, pushes the air up through the ductwork and through the whole building. Cold air return is right there. And then the hot air registers will be, and they're using the high velocity system. That's why these registers here are these little tiny ones everywhere. Okay, I'm just coming around behind unit 18 to see where the venting comes out. Well, that looks like how it vents there. So you've got a 10-foot deck, a couple of feet over beyond that. And there's, I guess, that jog that I was seeing inside. For that combination hot water heater. And he's got a high velocity system hooked up to it. So when I said air handler, that's a type of air handler. And I don't want to get technical and talk about all kinds of terminology that half the time I don't even know what it means. Well, okay, that isn't quite true, but I don't want you to be scratching your head thinking, what the hell is he talking about? Oops, what's he talking about? So what he's got going on there is the hot water heater's failing. It's got two loops inside. One loop is for the domestic hot water and the other one is to go to the high velocity air handler, the fan that blows the air. Anyway, the way you'd know those if you were looking at a place is the registers are really small and round. I might show you a picture of those so you can see, but they're just a different way of doing it. It's flexible insulated ductwork that goes through everything. So a pretty simple way to do it. Anyway, I don't really have much more to say except on this one, the complicated part is the venting. Because the old black venting, if you've ever seen that on a furnace, older furnaces anyway, and not that old either, because before that they were just metal chimneys. But the black pipe, it goes from one little room where the hot water heater is, up through the ceiling and across and into the next little room where the air handler is, across that ceiling, and then it goes up a little bit, and then it goes out into above the bathroom, which is all completely finished ceiling, and then it goes outside, and then it goes under a deck, and it goes another 10 feet of deck and another couple of feet just to vent it away from the deck. And that's to keep it from frosting up, and it's just the code and the way it has to be done. So there's quite a bit more involved sometimes than what you would expect. You think you're just going to go in and change a hot water heater, but in this case, because the code changed, that old black pipe has to be the white stuff now, up to code, thicker wall, doesn't react to heat the way the old black plumbing pipe, the ABS, did. So when somebody's coming to do some work for you and they give you an estimate, you might be thinking it's like a refrigerator that just gets rolled in and plugged in, just an appliance. But this is a full installation, and they're going to have as much work taking out that venting, putting in new venting, than they would have if it was like an electric hot water heater, or the piping, the venting was already white and up to code. So there's a whole lot of different things. The other thing too on that is it's only the exhaust vent, the hot gases, the burnt gases that have to go out that have to be that new white piping. The one that brings the fresh air in, you know, it's just fresh air coming in. We can leave that one. A lot of times we change them both because people are going to see this after, and we don't want it to look ugly. And yeah, it's a little more work. We're already doing it anyway, a little bit more materials. And most companies, they've got to charge for that because it's time and material, but it makes a nicer job too. So that's what I was looking at here. So if you have something like that in your place, then that's exactly what you're looking at when you see it. Or maybe if you're looking at buying a property and you see things like I'm going to try and include in these pictures, so at least you have an idea of what it is I'm talking about. But that's all I got for you for now. Stay comfortable, but please stay tuned.